for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening, Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, man. All right, how you doing? Today's Monday, September 20th, 2021. Let's do this. $264 days into the new year. Only 111 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of nowhere. A total undisclosed location. But it is beautiful. Getting better every day, too. Love it in here. You know, when I say that, I look around, I'm like, man, this is just spectacular. Spectacular. I think we should one day. I'll have a contest. Fly in some Fade or Not. Let them tour the bunker for real, so they can go back and go. It's spectacular. It's everything that he says it is. It's secret. It's undisclosed, and it's beautiful. Hang out, do some sky watches. I'm thinking more and more about that. I really am. I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? I obviously rolled in this afternoon after the Conscious Life Expo down at the LAX Hilton all weekend long. And Mad Dash back to here. We had the show, we had the week set up a couple of weeks ago, right? So, you know, I had that in my back pocket, but rolling out of here last Thursday, you know, I was just like, man, loose ends. But at least I knew everything was set up and ready to go, but I had to get back here and get cranking. As a matter of fact, everything is still in the Jeep. My luggage, I mean, everything is in the Jeep. And so today, this morning, so much to discuss, and I'll get to everything. But normally at the Conscious Life Expo, I pack up the booth, I put everything underneath the tables, you know, and then I go pick it up the next morning and head out. Today, so, you know, I pack up my luggage and stuff and I, depart the hotel room. Go down and my stuff is gone. As a matter of fact, the entire convention has disappeared. The whole conference gone. My stuff is gone. And so we had to go literally onto security video this morning and go through the security video. And there it is. A couple of guys came in at 2:30 in the morning and grabbed my stuff. They pulled all the tables out and everything, and they leave my stuff in the middle of the conference floor. And it's just sitting there. Then a couple of guys come in. They open up the boxes. They look in, it's T-shirts, it's stuff. There's other things in there too as well, and the booth and the backdrop and the banners and all that stuff. And they take a peek in and they take the boxes and walk out. Then we switch to other video cameras, follow them down the hallway. They go into this room and then walk out with nothing. And it was really funny. The head of security goes, "We're going into that room." And we take off. We leave the security office, go upstairs, unlock that door, and there's my stuff sitting in the room. It was, a couple of guys that work at the conference, but I didn't know who they were. They didn't work for the hotel. It was crazy. It was crazy. So then I'm driving back, and then I get this text on the phone. "Hey, Jimmy, it's Otto. Old friend, works for the conference. Your stuff is in Los Angeles room A." Oh, man. Anyway, so that was my morning. And but anyway, I'm back. Everything is great. We have an amazing week lined up here. 3 first-time guests. And what is great is after the premiere of Extraordinary, The Revelations, when that premiere happened, I immediately went up to Vivian and Krista, and I said, "Hey, I want you two guys on the show immediately. Let's get this book." They had to get back home. They were in Los Angeles. They don't live in California. And so we started to get that set up. I wanted Timothy Alberino on the show. Had to get all that set up. That was 2 weeks ago. And we got everything lined up and done. And I sat back and thought, wow, this is just going to be a great week on Fade to Black. 3 first-time guests, 3 amazing guests, and introducing them to the world and the film. And then since then, of course, as we know, last Thursday, this film has won the best documentary at the Pasadena International Film Festival. So that's just the bonus for this week and these 3 guests, because they are now, a part of a film that has won best documentary at a film festival. That is really, really cool. So that just makes this week amazing. All right, that's the icing on the cake. So again, tonight, Viviane Chauvet is with us. She's an advanced Arcturian hybrid. She joins us for the first time. Tomorrow night, Oracle Starseed Krista Raisa is here also for the first time. Wednesday night, the Lost History Explorer. Timothy Alberini wraps up the week of 3 first-time guests, and that is Wednesday night. And, of course, Thursday night is another Fader night with open lines all night long. We've got an amazing week lined up. Get ready for all of that. Tonight, Viviane Chauvet joins us. She will be with us at the bottom of the hour. You can follow me right now on Twitter at JChurchRadio. At JChurchRadio. Just follow your social media journey, and get into the sandbox. Follow me on Twitter and join all of the other Fadernauts. Hashtag F2B right there. That is the sandbox. And a lot to discuss tonight. And normally what I would do is have a full recap of the Conscious Life Expo tonight. And I'm going to do a mini version of that, and then we're going to swing back on Thursday night, of course. I've got a lot of photographs, a lot of images. I've posted a few. Brad was there, of course, Brad Harris, and we've got his camera roll. I haven't gotten that stuff to me yet, but we'll save all of that for Thursday night. But it was just an extraordinary weekend this weekend. And also, this is what's really cool. The Conscious Life Expo, more on that in just a bit, but the big show is in February, where we have 15,000 attendees. This was done. Q and the team just wanted to have, in the middle of all of this pandemic madness, we just wanted to get our friends together, have a nice intimate version of the Conscious Life Expo in the middle of this year. And invite our friends and have a few vendor booths and just get together and have some fun. Well, it grew a little bit bigger than that, and although small and intimate compared to, now this would be a ginormous conference by anybody else's standards, but for the Conscious Life Expo. This is definitely the mini-me version of it, but we had so much fun, and it was great just seeing happy faces and people there. So that's what this was. This wasn't, and it's like I said, any other conference, this is huge. It's a big success, and it was a success, but we just wanted to have a couple hundred friends, get together and play some music. And the next thing you know, we're doing a talent show. We're doing this. It's Los Angeles. It's London. It's this, oh man, it was international. And wow, it was just so much fun. Okay, so more on that in just a bit. Let's get to the breaking news. Inspiration 4, the historic all-civilian SpaceX mission, which launched September 15th and successfully splashed down on Saturday, went off without a hitch, sort of, except for an issue with the Dragon's onboard toilet. Yeah. Details are still scarce. Nobody really wants to talk about it as to what happened with the space toilet, right? But the anomaly involved its suction fan. The suction fan is responsible for removing waste. Ew. Dragon's toilet is located near the craft's nose cone, which is also where the cupola window is located on the Inspiration 4 capsule. I'm going to leave the rest to your imagination. There you go. All right, a Tucson astronomer, Dr. Caspo Weierskos, discovered a comet last week while at the Mount Lemmon Sky Center Observatory. Casper works with the University of Arizona Lunar and Planetary Laboratory and is an asteroid and comet hunter and part of their asteroid surveyor team, which is the best in the world at finding asteroids that come close to Earth. The new comet he discovered travels between Mars and Saturn and makes its way around the sun every 13 years or so, and it was named after his last name. And that's very cool, if you can say it. That volcano, it erupted. Talked about it last week, 4,000 earthquakes that happened in about 2 days. Well, that volcanic eruption has now forced 5,000 people to flee La Palma villages as lava flow destroys homes in La Palma, right there in the Canary Islands in Spain. The mayor of El Paso, La Palma, says the volcanic eruption on the island has destroyed at least 20 homes, forcing the evacuation with hundreds more at risk. I have been watching videos of this all day. Now, nobody's died. They've handled this correctly. That's great. But you go and you look at these videos of the island and the lava flows that are coming down. It is absolutely unbelievable video. Incredible, incredible. Thankfully, nobody is hurt. Let's get this show cracking. Happy birthday to today, the one and only Sophia Loren. Sophia Loren is 87 years old. Today, the Punisher, John Bernthal, is 45. Author George R.R. Martin today is 73. Of course, the Game of Thrones. Guitarist Nuno Betancourt today is 55. Do you remember Gunnar and Matthew Nelson, the Nelson twins? Well, today they are both 54. And that's not the only twins I've got with birthdays today. First, Styx bassist Chuck Panozzo today is 65. But our dead guy's birthday today is John Panozzo. That's right, Chuck's twin brother, 1948 to 1996, died at the age of 47. John, along with his twin brother, was a founding member of Styx. That's right, he played the drums on all of their classic albums, including The Grand Illusion, Paradise Theater, and Kilroy Was Here. All of those albums, all of them. His brother Chuck is still playing bass in the band, but Years of excessive drinking began to take its toll on his liver. In the mid-1990s, as Styx was about to embark on its first tour with the classic lineup since 1983, he fell seriously ill and began battling cirrhosis of the liver, eventually dying right there in Chicago in 1996. He was just 47 years old. Happy birthday, John. Incredible. So, 2 sets of twins today. 2. So that would be, is that 4? You know what's funny? When I hear people go, yeah, 2 twins. No, it's 1 twins. 2 people, 1 twins. I used to do it. That's why I'm saying that. On this day in history, OTD, 1963, something that a lot of people don't know about or talk about. In 1963, President John F. Kennedy suggests that the Soviet Union and the United States should cooperate on a mission to mount an expedition to the moon. The proposal caught both the Soviets and the Americans off guard. Well, JFK would be assassinated 2 months later on November 22nd, 1963. On this day in history. Fader fact. All right, now check this out. Fader facts are great. I bet you didn't know this. From 1912 to 1952, the Olympics also awarded medals for painting, sculpture, architecture, literature, and music. A total of 151 medals were given during these 4 decades. That should come back. That's your Fader fact. Tonight, very special guest right here on this program, Viviane Chauvet, advanced Arcturian hybrid. And she's joining us for the first time. Tomorrow night, Oracle Starseed Krista Risa is here for the first time. Wednesday night, the Lost History Explorer, the one and only Timothy Alberini, wraps up the week of 3 first-time guests right here on Fade to Black. And then Thursday night is another Fader night with open lines all night long. And I will. Thursday night, I will unleash my camera roll from the Conscious Life Expo. We'll have all of Brad's photographs and images. And if you were there and you want your stuff in the Twitter feed, email it to me. Or just jump in on the sandbox and post your images too as well. It's a great time. Great time. All right. River Moon Coffee. River Moon Coffee. Somebody came up to me. Oh, rivermoonwellness.com. All of the links are over at jimmychurchradio.com. I went off the stage. I'm going to talk about the Conscious Life Expo. Went off the stage. I was up there. I was doing something. I'm walking through the audience to the back of the room, and this gentleman comes up to me and says, "Hey, man, I want to get into radio." I said, "Cool." On everything that I love, this is what he said. How do I get your voice? I was like, what? I don't know. I've had this my whole life. I said, but what you can do is come to a conference like this and host it for 4 days, because day number 5, you'll have this voice. You're going to blow that thing out. All right. Yeah, you can tell, right? You can tell. Every conference, my voice gets weirder and weirder. It just starts to freak out. But I had a great time. And last night, let me hit this coffee again. Man, it's just so good. River Moon Coffee. Today, just half and half. Yeah. Had so many people coming up to me. Where's the coffee? It's like, I left everything at home. I barely remembered stuff. I was lucky to pull off what I pulled off. But, yeah. Next conference, I promise, I'll have a buttload of the River Moon coffee there. I just had so many people coming up and asking for it. Okay. So last night we wrapped the 2021 Conscious Life Expo, and it was truly a weekend full of great memories. So much fun, and way too much to just pop in 5 or 10 minutes right here. But Friday night, okay, this is the deal. There was a live stream going on, and if you were watching it, cool. Some things didn't make it to the live stream. And like this. So Friday night, I did my panel. We had Mark Sims, James Keenan, and Jorge Luis Delgado. All three were just amazing. More on James Keenan. I'm going to squeeze James Keenan's story, and involves his wife, Lisa. So it was great. And at the end of the panel, and I do this, every panel that I do, I bring everybody out, take a bow, enjoy the applause, right? Let's do this. So, I have everybody stand up, and right next to me is Mark Sims and James Keenan, and Jorge was down in the end. Right next to me is Mark Sims. He's standing right here. And his legs gave out. They were asleep. He didn't realize it. He stood up too fast, and he looked, and he falls. Now, the live stream cut and went to commercial. But I didn't know this. He falls past me, and he's looking at me. I have stuff in my hands, microphone, things, papers. And I thought it was in slow motion. I thought he was just, going to catch him. He fell off the stage, down about 3 feet, landed on his back, and everybody screams. And it was... Right, it was that, and it was loud. And I run down to him, and I look, and I said, man, okay, are you all right? I was really expecting something. He's like, man, I'm actually okay. I said, no, you don't move. And I get on the the intercom, I call the control room, which wasn't there. It was in Marina Del Rey. And I call the director, Kathleen. I said, she comes in. I'm sorry, she called me. She goes, great panel. We have broken to commercial. You're clear. This is in my ear. I go, Mark Sims fell off the stage. What are you talking about? She goes, he did. We didn't see it. We cut to commercial. So that didn't make it to the live stream. Now, Mark turned out to be okay. His ankle was a little effed up. But he said to me later, he comes up and he goes, man, is there a way I can get a video of that? I was like, what? It was crazy, but he turned out to be okay. So that was the end of the Friday night panel with everything else that was going on. And then we had that. Saturday night was my interview, my sit down with Danny Sheehan, and everything that I wanted and more. That was a great conversation with Danny. And I believe you can go and get replays of all of this if you go to ConsciousLifeExpo.com. But what I want to talk about is the talent show. And as the host of the talent show, and we went right after, so we wrap with Danny Sheehan, we clear the room, and we prep for the talent show, which is a party and everything else. They bring in a bar, and we get ready for that. And it's a lot of fun, but you don't know what to expect. This is a talent show, right? Holy crap, man. And the winners were all great. I'm not, I mean, it was just mind-blowing how great everybody was, including the champ this year, which was a young man, a 10-year-old Jake Blumenfeld, who played Mozart, and he was up first. And I felt really bad for all of the other adults in the room, because this kid shredded full on. Well, he won. It was incredible. But I'm thinking to myself, everybody else out there is like, well, that's that. I mean, and everybody was great. But they had to follow it. I think Jake should have gone last, but we don't know. This is random and random name and all of that. And Jake got up there as a 10-year-old, first up out of the gate, and threw down and ended up winning, and which is tough. After everybody else is up there, you don't remember who went first. But Jake is the winner, and congratulations for that. But the talent show was not live streamed. It's not there. I don't know if it's going to be available later. I don't even think it was filmed. Okay? So the world missed out on Kitty Fairlane. Kitty Fairlane, comedian, cancer survivor, funny, potty mouth, shocked everybody, made everybody laugh. I haven't laughed out that, but it was like, whoa. And you know what? Awesome. Kitty Fairlane, if you're listening to me right now, I wanted to go hang out with Kitty. I wanted to go and meet her and just see who she was, because she was amazing. Kitty, if you're listening right now, you rocked, and that was just absolutely amazing. And then Saturday night, I got to go out with some Fadernauts, Ramon, his friend Corey. Those two guys are absolutely incredible. Of course, Carrie from Palm Springs. Carrie came out and hung with us, and Brad Harris. And we sat up till 2 o'clock in the morning, and just doing our thing, and it was absolutely amazing. And that's what it's all about right there. And then we had Daryl Anka on Sunday, and I introduced Daryl, and so we get up, but he came from a remote location, so I'm talking to him on the big screen there, and there was a tape delay, and it was really funny. Audio delay. The audio delay didn't go out as a delay. The broadcast was fine. What was happening with us at that moment was a delay. But I got Kathleen in my ear. She's like, everything is fine. There's no tape delay. You guys are cool. But that interview, that little conversation with Daryl and I, wasn't. I just jumped off the stage. She's telling me everything is fine. I told him it was fine. I got out a few minutes later. Everything was cool. But that was pretty funny, dealing with that tape delay with Daryl. Now, one last thing before I get out of here. My friend, old friend, Lisa Reed showed up. Lisa, with her friend Stacy, they were going to the Chargers-Cowboys game over at SoFi Stadium. And so she stopped by. I haven't seen her since around 98, 99, like right in there. It's been a while. But it was great. I've known her since she was 18. I was in my early 20s when I met her back in the middle of the 80s. Old friend, and to see her, it was incredible. But anyway, so she goes to the Cowboys Chargers game, and is texting me. She's trying to get back for Bashar, and her text to me and her post on social media about traveling in and out of SoFi Stadium was not fun for her. And Lisa, your tweets and your social media is the absolute best. I've got a bunch of pictures of Lisa and I and her friend Stacy, and I'll post those up on Thursday. I'm holding back on those because they're really cool. And so Stacy, it was so great to see you. It was just an amazing weekend. I'll do a full recap on Thursday night. With that, I got to get out of here. I got to get to Viviane Chauvet. She will be here in just a couple of minutes. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What a great week this week. Three first-time guests. Viviane Chauvet tonight. Tomorrow night, Starseed Krista Raisa is here. And then Wednesday night, Timothy Alberini. Thursday night's another Fader night. We'll do a recap on CLE 2021. I am your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network. This is Fade to Black. I'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
Introducing the Game Changer blend from River Moon Coffee that delivers a customized blend made specifically for the Fadernauts. If the game is rigged, change the game. It's a bolder cup with some bite. Game Changer is the coffee of choice for those that prefer an organic dark roast that is slightly lighter and milder, but it's still dark. With wild notes of pecans and chocolate with a rich, balanced, full-bodied cup that is roasted to perfection for a great coffee to start your day, as an after-dinner coffee or anywhere in between. Artisan, small batch roasted to perfection. USDA certified organic, all River Moon coffee is freshly roasted and packaged in the USA. Just go to rivermooncoffee.com or click on the banners over on our site and use the promo code F2B Blend for 15% off of your order today. rivermooncoffee.com.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact. KGRAradio.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, folks. It's troubling times, and fear is pushing emotions, which in turn pushes health the wrong direction. Do you ever get an ache because life is uneasy? Try Life Change Tea at wtih.com. Life Change Tea works on your digestive tract, helping to move food through quicker and comfortably so your health is spot on. Life Change Tea may not help with world issues, but it will help with your digestive issues. A glass a day helps keep the intruders away. So, change your life today. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. If your health game is off, get on by ordering Life Change Tea. Getthetea.com. And while you're on our site, look around at the great non-GMO organic supplements. And if you're a sales shopper, go to our specials page and see what's for you. I've been drinking the tea for 12 years and I'm sure glad for its health benefits. Again, that's getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. The tea that makes you go.
Fadernauts, when you think about the future of our country and where we're headed, do you wonder about the food supply? I do. Disruptions in the food supply chain could be disastrous, and they usually occur with little warning. That's why the smartest thing you can do today is to stockpile emergency food, water, and other essentials. I personally recommend My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, serving millions of customers for more than a decade. In fact, they're the only source my family trusts for our preparedness plan. You should too. Right now, save 20% off a full 4-week supply of delicious meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. Saving 20% helps too, doesn't it? Especially now. So go to preparewithjimmy.com and get ready. That's preparewithjimmy.com. There's no time to lose. Do it now.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Manson. You're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. An amazing week we've got coming up this week on Fade to Black. 3 first-time guests this week. Tonight, Viviane Chauvet is here. Tomorrow night, Oracle Starseed Krista Risa is here. Wednesday night, Timothy Alberini. Thursday night, I'll do a recap of CLE and take your phone calls, of course, because it is Fader night. And that'll be Thursday. What a great week. I love first-time guests. And when you crank through, thousands of shows like I have done, One of my favorite things to do is have a first-time guest, and to do that 3 times this week, it's going to be extraordinary. Not only for myself, because I'm here learning and discovering just like the rest of us, but for you. Okay, so here we go. Tonight, it is all about Vivian. She joins us for the first time. We are going to be discussing the film Extraordinary, The Revelations, and the message that she shares today, right now, for the future of our world. She's an internationally recognized inspirational coach and journey as an advanced Arcturian hybrid. Now, we're going to get into that and what that actually means. And of course, she is a trans voice channel. Her healing practice and teachings inspire people to live in universal oneness. Her training includes holographic frequency healing, QHHT, which we have discussed many times in the show, and other healing modalities. Of course, she appears in the J3 films, Extraordinary, The Revelations, but she was also in The Seeding. And that's when I first heard and learned of Vivian. We're going to get into all of that. Her first book, Wisdom of the Silver Sisters Guiding Grace, was recently published on Amazon, and all of her links are available at jimmychurchradio.com. But I want to get straight to it. I want to welcome for the first time to Fade to Black, Viviane Chauvet. Vivian, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Jimmy. I am very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
You know, you've got an extraordinary smile, so just let me see it real quick.
Thank you.
And I had to get that out of the way. This is going to be a great conversation tonight, but before we start things off, Vivi, you get the first-time guest disclaimer. Okay, we got to do it. Next time you're on the show, you're not going to get it, but you're going to get it now, which is it's just you and I, Vivian, sitting on my couch having a conversation as friends. And where that conversation starts, it starts. Where it ends, it ends. But we're going to end as friends. There you go.
I love it.
All right.
Absolutely.
You know, it's funny. Well, with the first-time guest, I hit him with the disclaimer, right? And that I always watch the react. What? I didn't know there was that. And then they hear it, and it's all cool. But that's an old tradition. It started many. I don't even know how it started on the show. But if sometimes I miss it with a first-time guest, right? I miss it, and then Twitter lights up, the chat rooms light up. Church forgot the first-time guest disclaimer, and then I've got to swing back and do it. So we cannot not do the first-time guest disclaimer. Now. This is what is so great. You and I, standing on the street, literally planned this show 2 weeks ago. Did we not? Right?
Oh, absolutely. Right there in Pasadena, California.
Standing on the street. What we didn't know then, we know now. The film won Best Documentary, right?
Yes.
Yeah, holy crap. And which makes this week even more special. Now, I want to ask you this out of the gate, and then we're going to continue on. The film is amazing, but when you go to a premiere like that, you don't know what to expect. We're all nervous. We get to the end of the film. I took a deep breath and went, phew, okay, all right. It came out pretty cool. And I'm sure you thought the same thing. How did you feel watching the film and yourself and getting through it? And then how did you feel at the end?
Oh, that's a great question, Jimmy. First, I'm thrilled that we got to share this experience together during the Pasadena Film Festival. It was a blend of different emotions. Of course, my human side was nervous. There was some apprehension, curiosity, wanted to see how everything would fit together. And then sitting right there in that movie theater, number 3, I'll always remember, theater number 3. And we are waiting for the premiere of the documentary. So I remember the opening scene with the music on, and then we dive into it. So I felt I was like in a vortex traveling through the documentary. Right?
Yes.
That's how I felt. And then, of course, this is my first on screen, like this experience, sitting with a big screen, smell popcorn in the room, typical theater, and then poof, the hybrid section comes, the spiritual part, the soul of the document comes up, and I had a feeling, here I come. And then sure enough, I hear my voice. My name is Viviane Chauvet. I'm an Arcturian hybrid. I'm like, oh my God. It's like stranger than fiction, like this long time dream coming true right before my eyes, and realizing I'm a part of something extraordinary, just to blend in the name of the documentary. But I realize I'm part of something that will create amazing ripple effect, that will inspire, that will teach, that will open people, that will really bring them onto a journey. And it's just, then the documentary finish up, the last song comes and then lights up, and we go like, that big sigh of release, going, oh my God, this is just the beginning of another journey, another adventure with this documentary, right? And be there with everybody. Well, there was like, director, the co-producers, you were there, my colleague Krista was there, and we were sitting next to each other. So we were like two little star seat, giggling, spark of light sitting next to each other, and we go like elbowing each other. Hey, you come on the screen. Hey, you just came on the screen. And it's just having this experience. It was surreal.
Yeah,
it was surreal.
I like the way you said that, about the vortex. I tumbled through it too. It's a weird thing. It's a different experience in the theater. You're right. You've got the smell of popcorn. You've got the murmurs of people talking and everything that's, it's a theater. It's a different type of experience. And you do. I literally tumbled through it, and it was so much fun. And now this is the other part. And then I want to talk about you. Do you remember what you said? Right? You're seeing yourself on the screen, right? And now, that's what do you remember what you presented in the film?
Well, that's a great question, Jimmy, because in reality, the segment that people will discover about what we share, and I say we because it's my Arcturian collective and I, that particular interview was done like 3-4 years ago. And I did another set of interview that was designed for the third documentary. And because the first interview, the one we actually see portion of in the documentary, John, the director, felt so compelled. He felt that it was so perfect for the narrative, for the documentary, that he brought that aspect in. But you have to realize it's almost 4 years ago for me.
Right.
So it brought me back into that space where I transported myself in that time and space, that timeline, where we're sitting on the stairs, having a conversation with a director. And at the time, the cast and crew are sitting in the background. Everybody is listening. All eyes are listening. And we are in that energy. And then my collective comes through and we're talking with the director. And so it brought me back. I could feel, I remember, I could sense, I could experience everything the way it happened during that time. So that's the fun story behind it.
Yeah, and I love it when it happens that way, right? Where you're not reading from a script, right? People need to understand what is happening here. This is conversations with these individuals. This isn't, somebody reading from a teleprompter. You're not memorizing lines, and that's what is so great. You get to go back and relive that moment, and that is so much fun. Now there was one other point to this film that you as a viewer you realize at the end, this isn't a bunch of facts and numbers and events and historical things that are being presented. No, that's not what's going on here. This is something that a message that can just be absorbed because these are people's thoughts. And that's what I think separates this film apart from other other things that have been attempted in the past. And I think that we really hit that mark, don't you?
Oh, totally. I completely agree with you. It's the combination, it's the blend of experience. It's the blend of, perspective. It's the blend of energy that coming together. Nobody is reading a script. You can tell it's very organic. It's very natural. Whether it's from, and you move through different segments to the documentary. You can tell you're moving to different aspect, point of view, whether it's from whistleblower, whether it's from, myself and Mary Rodwell and others who brought more of a spiritual, more of an interconnections, with the interstellar group, the Star Children, and it goes back into a completely different direction. I feel like it has such an organic flow to it because nobody is reading a script.
Now, the other part about this film, there are a lot of familiar personalities and researchers that are there, and their perspective on where we are with disclosure and contact is great. They've been doing this for a long time, and they deserve the platform to speak about what this means for the world. But then there is you, there's Krista, and we'll have Timothy on the show on Wednesday night, where and others too. But you're going to be introduced to the world in a grand form, and your mindset and where you're coming from is not only a fresh take. There's that part, but it is also an old take, right? This is, you are bringing in the channeling, the voices, your connections that has been established for millions of years. And I think that is just great.
Right on. Absolutely. So I like the perspective of bringing fresh perspective. Definitely, we represent a very, very old, very enlightened civilization, interstellar, intergalactic civilizations. So you will see, for those who will discover the documentary, you will see that the moment I come on screen, you can feel vibrationally, and even to the way my hands move, there's a transmission. I already do, sign language, and then that movement, the body language, the voice, it's a collective. It's a bringing of algorithm of light that are being transmitted to the perspective that we hear, the perspective of who I am. I'm not a researcher. I'm not a whistleblower. I have not been in the field for 30 years in a very sometimes scientific mind. I come here already blended with a very advanced level of intelligence from there's none of this world. And so it brings a completely different approach. And yet it is ancient, and like you said, refresh and ancient all together.
Right.
And especially right on target to where we are now moving forward, especially, in the timeline. So I love the way you present that, fresh and ancient.
Yeah, fresh and
together.
ancient, if there is such a thing. And it is done in this film. Now, we'll set everything up for when we return right now. So you and I are talking privately, and I turned to you and I said, "Who are you?" And you looked right in my eyeballs and said, "Jimmy, I'm an advanced Arcturian hybrid." And I stopped you right there and I said, okay, we're going to save all of that for the show. But that is how you introduced yourself to me. What is that definition? When you say that you are an advanced Arcturian hybrid, how do you explain that to the audience that may not know what we're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure to introduce ourselves. So what is the word hybrid? It's something that's been used a lot. We know that it has been known by researchers, whether it's sentient aliens, whether it's other format of, research and material, that the word hybrid has been used at different level. In my case, what we said, I am an advanced Arcturian hybrid. That's because I'm a prototype. And what it means is that I'm the genetic blending of a human mother. I needed to have this human spark, that part of the DNA completely engineered with my Arcturian collective through an Arcturian father. So my biological father is 100% an intergalactic being called an Arcturian. Okay, how do I know that? How do I come up with this? So it's very complex because I have clear memories of being in my Arcturian form prior to this incarnation, connecting, calling, consulting with our councils of elders, the Arcturian Council, that says, okay, the Earth, from our perspective, we can see that the Earth is coming into alignment with the higher probability for ascension. We need to send assistance. So in that sense, I volunteer to come up with a different aspect. So I want to have a physical vessel. Now, your body is your vessel. I want to have a physical vessel that will contain the highest level of Arcturian genetic material, including through my chakra system. Even my chakra system works differently. The way my brain is wired, the way the body, it will be wired in a way that I am a breathing, living conduit of complete frequency through the Arcturian collective, blended also as a human, so that I can walk around you. I don't look like I'm 12 feet tall, bald, super skinny, with 3 fingers, no hair, really big eyes, and says, "Oh, Jimmy, would you have me on your radio show tonight?"
I would do it. But that would be a video that would be broadcast for sure.
Yes.
But that's an interesting point, though. Is there? I want to stay with this, but is there a chance that at some point in the future, this would be revealed? This image, this actual form, would be revealed to not only the people of Earth, but to everybody.
It is going in that direction. So, about 2 years ago, from a linear point of view, my collective comment says, word for word, they said, there will come a time where, as you step up to the stage of life, where we're going to be stepping up with you and make ourselves visible. So there will come a time where anything and everything that we do, everything that I convey publicly, that there will be my core group available and visible to everyone. We are heading in that direction. But right now, look at the struggle and look also as the evolutionary process on the planet, where the word hybrid alone, just that semantic, that word, will be challenged or welcome, accepted, or denied. We're still at those stages of conscious evolution. Now, the word hybrid, as we've heard it before, and I hear people a lot coming to me, says, well, I'm also Arcturian, I'm also an Arcturian hybrid, or I'm a hybrid through the Syrian or the Lyrians. And you would say, yes, there is possibility of you are conceived from the union, the original spark of a human mother and a human father combined together, and there was a third party of introduction for genetic material to the DNA to help you connect deeper with your starseed origin. I would say that qualify you as a hybrid. In my case, I am genetically built by an advanced civilization known as the Arcturian, with the capability that everyone I touch, everything, everywhere I go, I'm a direct paradigm shifters. So when we were talking on that street in Pasadena 2 weeks ago, what was happening was more than that conversation. We were already vibrationally and frequency-wise attuning to another. I was already shifting that reality where I knew that this was going to happen, and here we are tonight. So we really pushed the envelope. We wanted to see how viable it will be from one of our own. You have to think that the Arcturian do not descend back into density and matter in such a way. Because if you're a being, let's say, Jimmy, and everyone who's listening right now, If you're a being who have reached a level of enlightenment, that means that your physical form is not as dense as a human. You're evolving and vibrating and living consciously at a level of dimensional, whether it's the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th dimension, and we all heard about the dimensional stage. When you reach this high level of dimensional expansion and consciousness, well, descending back, it's very difficult. It's very challenging. It's like telling you, will you ask a PhD professor who has, let's say, 2 PhD to go back to teach kindergarten or be in that environment? It will be very challenging to comprise the level of interaction, communication, energy, and so forth at that level. And just a comparison here, so just bear with me.
Sure.
So Arcturian have reached that level where primarily we're very comfortable in the 7th dimension. We can go all the way to the 10th dimension. We can descend back to the 5th dimension. For us, the 5th dimension, we're descending back in frequency. For overall human beings, you're rising to the 5th dimension. So already at a level, now imagining compressing that back into a 3rd dimensional level, into a planet, into a matrix reality where that density require to have a certain physical form, a certain predisposition to be able to function here. Now it's like, are you going to, how do you going to overcome the challenges? And that is true for all aspects of hybrids that has reached a level of genetic blend.
Well, you know what though? And why would you want to, right? Just so, some radio host, broadcasting from the desert can see you and meet you. Why would you want to do that? It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let's take our break right here, Vivian. This is Fade to Black. We've got so much to get into tonight with Vivian. It's going to be a great conversation. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. All of Vivian's links are over at jimmychurchradio.com, and we have them up throughout social media. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
This is Billy Carson with ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Forbidden Knowledge TV has just reached its 1-year anniversary. That's right, 1 year. And as a show of appreciation, we are giving all new subscribers a free 30-day trial of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's 30 days to binge watch thousands of movies, documentaries, conferences, workshops, lectures, yoga classes, meditation courses, and so much more. So log on to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv from your computer or mobile device, or get the Forbidden Knowledge TV app on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon, iTunes, or Google Play today, and use coupon code 30daysfree. That's coupon code 30daysfree on ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Because you never got that pony you always wanted. Damn it. Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network. KGRADB.com.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer, Einstein, the ancient crystal skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roasted to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B blend for 15% off of your order today.
Hello, I'm Julian. You're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. We are also Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernaut by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright-Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church, tonight. Viviane Chauvet. She said Chauvet. I think it's Chauvet. I'm changing things. And 3 first-time guests this week. And Vivian is kicking things off. Tomorrow night we have Krista Raisa here. Tomorrow night, and then Wednesday night, Timothy Alberini. All are featured in the new film Extraordinary, The Revelations, which just won Best Documentary at the Pasadena International Film Festival. And what is so great about that, Vivian, before we move on, is this community, documentaries come out all the time and they're great, and I watch them all and stuff, but this community never gets recognition, a film about contact and no. We did this time around, and that's a statement from John, Lori, Jack, Jamie over at J3 Films for sure. But this film was always made from the get-go for the world. Our community gets to enjoy it, but this was made for the world. And I feel that, like, for the first time, the world might get it this time around, right? Isn't it pretty cool that the establishment finally recognizes our community? And I think that's great, don't you?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a long time coming. It's a long time coming also for everyone who's been dedicated in that community. holding the torch, really opening, and look at those who've come before us are really opening the pathway to lead us to where we are right now. And seeing the documentary already on the opening night at the International Film Festival, already getting recognition. It's just the beginning.
Yes, and it's actually a great segue to some of your statements in the film, which were exactly this type of message, that here we are right now, this is happening, get ready, and these are the reasons why. And you were very compelling and emotional in the way that you presented this in the film. I would assume that this comes directly from your conversations, your connection, and your channeling back to the Arcturian High Council. How does that connection happen? Is this up? I mean, you're not dialing this up on a cell phone, right? How does this happen for you?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jimmy. So think of it this way, because I'm genetically blend and engineered by them, so I already come with a cell phone integrated, if you want, okay? It's almost like having a constant Skype or Zoom feed that always is live, and it's there on demand. It's constantly there. It's 24 hours 7. I am blended with my group, with my community, with the Arcturians, and it's the entire civilization. I can connect with the council. I can talk to our council of elders. I constantly talk to my Arcturian father. How does it work? Think of it this way. We call that holographic transmission or holographic form of telepathy. It's a transmission of soul essence. When they speak to me, there's no English words to it. It's my brain that will interpret their transmission, and I can verbalize it, okay? It comes in very, very fluidly. I am built for this. I'm built to keep the flow. I'm built to hold this conduit as a high frequencies. So when they transmit holographically a thought form, a soul essence, it conveys everything: image, sound, communications, their intentions, an emotion convey, whether it's they want to show me a timeline, let's say go back to Lemuria or seeing Atlantis. It's right there in real time. It's happening. It's the speed of thoughts. I receive those transmissions and I'm able to convey it like at the same time. So right now they can give me a transmission. I'll be able to convey that to you at the same time, because this is also how I am built. I'm designed to have this transvoid channel, and this is just the semantics I put on it, just to explain what I'm doing.
Sure.
But it's just a very transfer of consciousness, holographic consciousness, and they can be like a group of 30 of them, all connecting and transmitting their soul essence. And to me, it will come as very much in oneness, like in one voice. You will hear it through my voice, my vocal voice, but at the same time you can feel there's a different resonance to it. There's a presence, there's an intelligence, there's a flow behind the words. And that's also because there's a transmission of algorithm of light. There's a transmission of our essence to all of you, and you're receiving it at different level. It's not just verbally what you're hearing, but also it's the experience that it conveys. And that's also an aspect you see very clearly in the film, in the documentary.
Now, what are they saying, Vivian, about today, about what is going on? You know, UFOs are the conversation of the world right now, right? UAPs. And you know, the word disclosure. You know, what are they saying about where we are right now?
This is the making of thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Many, many soul groups have come at different historical point in the timeline of this earth to already prepare the way. We have foreseen the multitude timeline unfolding all at once, and we understood that where you are right now, that was the highest potential one, the highest probabilities. Now we want to give there's going to be also those who will bring in a narrative of fear. Oh, they're among us, hybrids. They're going to take it over. They look like us. They speak like human beings. They're going to speak like and acting, and they're going to be taking over, and the human race will transform into a bunch of, synthesized beings. That's part of the fear-based narratives. We invite you to really feel it in your being. Understand that ultimately you, me, Arcturian, Lyrans, angelic beings, human beings, we all come from the same prime creator source. We all divine essence, eternal spark of divinity evolving to different form, to different sphere of consciousness. So your planet has come back to reawakening, going back to identify yourself as I am a divine being, and I've been here. An aspect of me is in this incarnation as a human being. Everything else is I experience to my senses. I create, I co-manifest. So it's a really huge renaissance, if you want, and a return to understanding that ultimately you've always been in that state, but you've been programmed, believed for generation and generations by other faction or other groups that come and says, oh, great planet, great resources, amazing potential. We're looking at a race of really powerful beings. Let's create false narratives and paradigms and layers, and over time we get entangled. Do you know how we see you? Do you know how most of the enlightened intergalactic groups see you? When I mean you, it's lovingly saying the human civilization, all of you, with so much love. We see you as galactic royalties because you represent a genetic pool of so many other groups that have come before. A blend with the Pleiadians, a blend with the Alpha Centauri, a blend with other groups that you don't even know the name. So you are this beautiful, very complex civilizations, beings who have evolved, in a planet called Earth, as within a celestial body, a conscious celestial being called a planet, Earth, Thera, Gaia. And you have evolved in different way. If you look at your history, if you look at the different phases of what the human beings, the human race have gone through, well, ultimately, this is how we see you. And there's been so much assistance. Are there negative factions? Yes, they are. Can we dwell upon that? It's not what we recommend. We recommend to stand your power, recognizing there's forces and counter forces. This is how we see it. Recognizing that you may hear those who are dwelling more on the counter forces, the danger, the fear, the narrative, and all of this. Well, ultimately is that we are finally coming back all together as a community of light, regardless of where you come from, regardless of if you're an original seeding from this earth, or you're more like seeding comes from another planet, another galaxy, another universe, a parallel, a transdimensional universe. We're in this together. The time is now, and that's part of the message we convey. The time is now. Rise in your consciousness, understand the profound mechanism of who you are, and recognize that you have been evolving, living a very polarized reality, dark, light, good, bad, and all of these polarizations. So this is how we call it, fragmentation of the polarities. Well, ultimately is going back and living consciously every day in terms of a more, I choose my light. I choose to live in oneness. I choose consciously to recognize that there are brothers and sisters, part of the intergalactic groups, who come to assist all of us. And there are those who will see, you know what, we will benefit more keeping everybody under a thumb, or, keeping everybody down in oppression.
Right. And that is so interesting, because right now, never before in history have we had the light and dark tangible. right? It's right there in front of us now. We can see it. We can feel it. All we do is fight. We're trying to do the right thing and be good, and then you've got the other half of the planet is dark and pissed off, right? And we see it now. It's tangible. It's real, and it's never been like this before. And then that part of this conversation, when it comes to our ET brothers and sisters that are out there by the billions, it's just not one race of beings. It's an infinite amount of civilizations. And I say infinite as a word. I'm saying it exists in numbers that continue. It's an infinite number. But the conversation is they're not all benevolent. They're not here to run around and save us and be our best friends. There are bad elements out there too. So how do we address that? And I know that you hear the same things, and so does the Arcturian High Council. They're very aware. So what do we do about that? These mixed messages that ET is not exactly here for a beneficial agreement.
Well, as above, so below. Okay, look at the diversity of life evolving on this earth. Okay, there's different cultural background, there's different diversity of life, whether it's marine life, whether it's, even in human consciousness. You can see that there's different variation of consciousness and evolution, even at the soul level. If you look at people, some people, the way they behave, the way they have almost like experience, you can tell they're younger soul. And you can see also when you are dealing or experimenting or interacting with an older soul. So it's the same thing with the universe. Yes, there are polarization, but that polarity shifts depending on what dimension you're expanding. When it comes to the 10th dimension, this kind of polarization is non-existent anymore. You don't even have an identification. You no longer identify to a civilization, I'm human, I'm Arcturian, I'm an ancient being. You just blend back into the foundation of who you are. I am one. I am part of the one mind, the singular mind of Prime Creator. I'm giving you just a perspective here. But to come back to where we are right now, we are dismantling collectively a very old matrix reality, a false narrative that has been craftily built over time by those groups, when you call it ETs, extraterrestrial, intergalactic, again, semantics, by other groups whose intention is more to utilize the energy of others, it's more to be servitude to self instead of service to others. And oftentimes what we observe is sometimes the reminiscence of old galactic wars, conflict. You know that in your history of this earth, there's been many timeline of conflict and wars. What do you think that come from? It comes from also from memories from other galactic wars.
Let me jump in right there.
Yep.
So, and I understand our diversity. We've got a lot of good, got a hell of a lot of bad too as well. Even in myself, I'm kind of polarized. I got my bad side, but Arcturians, did they go through the same thing? Are there bad Arcturians? Are they conflicted amongst themselves too as well? Right? Do we see ourselves in them and vice versa?
Fantastic. I love where this is going. We have reached a level of unification a long, long time ago. Now, like any civilizations, if you look at the history of the Arcturian civilization, millions of years ago, not thousands, but millions of years ago, of course, there's been understanding, learning, expansion. So to reach to a level of enlightenment and a return to a level of unification. If you look at Arcturus, this is not just a constellation or a star in the sky, it's a realm. Mm-hmm. Any souls that travel to the realm of Arcturus, it comes to heal their soul, understand, perfect their self at the soul level to be able to understand what that process is about. So the question, the really easy answer to, is there polarized Arcturians, bad, good, conflicted, defragmented, all of this. No, we have passed that a long time ago. Now think of us, Jimmy and many others listening right now, think of us as a model, an example of future self. What we have reached and where we are, who we are now, you can too. We see the same potential in you. This is why our message is very redundant in terms of to empower everyone from wherever you are in the perfection of your blueprint, the perfection of your soul design. We came here to walk with you, to support you, teaching, whether it's also uplifting, healing in other form. We see the same seed of evolution, consciousness, potential that we had a long time ago, and that we've been able to rise, learning from mistake, learning from history, and how we have reached a level of unification that we're in right now. So it really is, it's almost thinking of looking at us like a future aspect of who you can aspire to be in the highest potential of who you are, in the perfection of who you are. And they tell me, yes, I see spark all over right now. They're like, oh, yes. So think of it this way.
The spark was, I saw it too. It was Jimmy's pretty cool. Keep going with this, Vivian. He's all right. He's on Team Arcturian.
Exactly. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, right. Now, and the other elephant in the room, which is, for some reason, and it doesn't matter if it's a village, if it's another human, culture to come in or whatever, we always expect or want somebody or something to come in and save us, right? We don't want to save ourselves. It's like too much work. And the same mindset has been put out there about ET. Well, why aren't they here, curing cancer? Why aren't they here, figuring out pollution? Why aren't they here? Why aren't they here? Why is that? Why do we fall back into that crutch and that trap where we always want somebody else to come in and fix us?
Absolutely. So that's exactly what you said. It's a crutch. It's a mental, it's part of the mental grids where the human civilization got entangled into believing that they're less than, incapable of, powerless. There's so much I can do. I hear people say sometimes, well, I wish I can do more, but hey, I can do this, nothing I can do. And I'm like, there's so much you can do. You know what you can do? It's every day choose consciously to live in the integrity of your being. Mm-hmm. Release the lower mind. Release the addiction of absorbing information that doesn't mean knowledge. Knowledge and information are two different distinct aspects. When you start to understand, to start to even accept and open the door to say, okay, I accept the possibility there's more to me than a body-mind expression, a persona, a weaving of stories that this is my upbringing, this is the core value, this is the cultural background I grew up with, this is the teaching of my ancestors, this is the career, this is what I do. It's not about what you do. It's not about the career path. It's about who you have been from the beginning, the moment you set foot on this planet. Why do you think you're here in physical expression right now? That's because at the soul level, you recognize your team of light, the beings that have coached you at the soul level to bring you right now, knew that there's a uniqueness, a vibrational signature about you that makes a difference. Just the fact you breathe, you exist, and you're here. You influence the entire ecosystem. You're influencing the entire collective on the planet. So the quality of your thoughts. How many times do we see energetic emanation in the form of waves coming from the earth, in the form of energetic debris That is the mass consciousness thought forms that constantly been sent out there like signals 24/7, and there's billions of you. Again, I've seen orbs all over. They're really active right now. So imagining everyone on the planet every day, consciously I filter my thoughts. Am I contributing to the light, or am I unconsciously contributing to the polarizations or contributing to the fear? Out of thinking that I'm helping, if I said, I don't want this anymore, but at the same time, what you're doing is that you are contributing your energy, giving your power,
right,
who you are.
Now, and before the break, and we'll discuss this after the break, doing the right thing, like you said, just wake up and just consciously do the right thing, right? Be the best. But that's hard work, right? Doing the wrong thing, Vivian, is easy and it's kind of fun, right? And people get sucked into that. You're in school, you get your homework, you go home. You have a choice. Do the right thing and do the homework. That's work. The easy thing to do is not do your homework and go out and play with your friends, right? And that's the easy road. And we always get sucked into that polarizing aspect of not doing the right thing. Why is doing the right thing so hard? Why is it so much work?
It's all part of the program that has been installed on your planet for generations and generations. Because we hold everyone and every sentient conscious life form in this true light, we can see, we see who you are. We also see the challenges that everyone is going through in the human form. This is a very difficult school of learning. At the same time, the earth is giving everyone such an opportunity, very condensed opportunity to perfect the soul at a level that you can really accelerate your evolutionary stage by 1,000 years and more. I mean, really, it's incredible. But here's the thing. There's, again, labeling put on you, defining you. If you're a good boy, a good girl in school, you get a golden star. Or I've been bad today because I didn't listen. Or I've been doing this. So those ingrained patterns, those behavioral patterns become intertwined in your persona. Then your subconscious create those loops, those feedback. And then what you do, you navigate through life through those behavioral ingrained patterns of, well, you know, as a teenager, I was lazy. Well, what does lazy mean? What does it mean? Right?
That's exactly it. I've always found that so fascinating. We need to take a break right here. But I remember with my daughters, one of the things that I taught them as soon as they could speak, you're going to be making choices for the rest of your life. You can do the right thing or you can do the wrong thing. You know the difference between the two. The decision is easy. Doing the right thing is just simple. Just do the right thing. Don't complicate your life. You do the wrong thing, life gets complicated, right? And I tried to instill that in them at a very young age, right? And that's it. It's actually very simple. Just right or wrong. And you know the difference, right? Let's take our break right here. This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Viviane Chauvet. I think it's Chauvet. I do. I'm going with Chauvet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. Fascinating conversation. We will continue everything when we come back. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
you want to be an official Fade or Not? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com. This is Jimmy Church, and I invite you to attend the 20th Annual Los Angeles Conscious Life Expo live and in person this September 17th, 18th, and 19th at the LAX Airport Hilton. Connect with exhibitors, community, thought leaders, and friends as we begin to recreate the world. You can also watch the expo from the comfort of your own home. Live stream from the main stage in Los Angeles and from the main stage in London. Truly a global simulcast event broadcast around the world. Live stream and in-person expo tickets are available now. I'll be your host all weekend long from Los Angeles. And on Friday, it's my Ancient Secrets and Earth Mysteries themed segment with James Keenan, Caroline Corey, and William Henry. And on Saturday, Daniel Sheen and I sit down for a one-on-one interview live. We have an amazing lineup of 25 speakers, including Bashar, Gail Thackeray, Kimberly Meredith, Whitley Strieber, Stephen Bassett, Daniel Brinkley, and Lisa Garr. Please visit ConsciousLifeExpo.com for tickets and info. That's ConsciousLifeExpo.com and use that promo code Jimmy for a special discount. Fade or Nots. When you think about the future of our country and where we're headed, do you wonder about the food supply? I do. Disruptions in the food supply chain could be disastrous, and they usually occur with little warning. That's why the smartest thing you can do today is to stockpile emergency food, water, and other essentials. I personally recommend My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, serving millions of customers for more than a decade. In fact, they're the only source my family trusts for our preparedness plan. You should too. Right now, save 20% off a full 4-week supply of delicious meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. Saving 20% helps too, doesn't it? Especially now. So go to preparewithjimmy.com and get ready. That's preparewithjimmy.com. There's no time to lose. Do it now.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, Viviane Chauvet. And more with Vivian. Just a minute, I want to talk to you about preparewithjimmy.com. The links are right below. Click, head over. My Patriot Supply. You always need to be prepared. I'm prepared. You never know when the situation is in front of you where your family's going to go, okay, are we ready for this? And you need to answer, yes, we are. I went to Prepare with Jimmy. We've got great specials going on right now. Just click on the links below. You can head over to jimmychurchradio.com. Click on those links over there. It's all simple to do. Great specials happening right now at preparewithjimmy.com, My Patriot Supply. there you go. I am prepared, by the way. When you come over to my house and we sit down to dinner, I just use my prepper food. Yeah, that's it. It tastes that good. No, I'm kidding. Let's get back to this conversation, Vivian. The amount of channels that are out there, and many have been on this show, and some are fascinating to me, and these conversations and the messages, and I do feel that they do repeat, like you said earlier, right? There's a reason for this, right? We got to pound this into your thinking process, but directly these questions: how many are there like you, an Arcturian hybrid, right now? Are you in contact with others around the world? Surely you're not the only one making contact. And how authentic are they?
Good questions. What I can tell you is that the way I've been engineered, I'm a prototype. So meaning that the way I say I'm an advanced Arcturian hybrid, there's only one of me in that sense. Okay. Now, without being said, are there other star seed on the planet? Comes also from the Arcturian collective, of course. Can there be other variations of hybrids? That is also a possibility, meaning that, again, the genetic blend, the original spark comes from mother, father, human parents, and then it may have been an introduction of DNA to help that star seed and their own mission. Because for any Arcturian soul, it's very, very difficult to be in a human form right here in this density, that form of evolutionary stage of a planet that is going to so much conflict, polarization, fragmentation. It's difficult to be in these energies. And I have encountered on my journey so far a few Arcturian star seed, and the commonality is to feel like, oh, this is so heavy. I feel like I wish I could go home. I wish I can go back to, where we come from, because it's so much light, it's love, it's unconditioned. We don't need to go through that again. So it's very challenging to be here just to begin with. So, I like to say I'm the crazy one who pushed the envelope and says, oh yeah, let's do a physical body. Let's create a vehicle that will be really highly engenically bringing in the Arcturian material and the frequency. And I'm going to navigate through that disguise and blend in with human. And I can do this. And I'm like, oh my God, I really took on a huge, huge endeavor, a really big assignment. For many reasons from what I'm here to do. But to answer your question is that, of course, there are other channels. There are people who will be connecting with them. They may have guides. They may have an influence that in other incarnation, they may have traveled through the Arcturus realm, spend a few lifetimes with us, and continue to evolve. And that will be reflecting in terms of what some people come to me and they say, oh, I'm also Arcturian. And we come to decode that they do have an influence on Arcturian energy that is coming with them at a soul level to help them navigate to what they have come to do. There are other teachers. There are those who will be communicating with them. And it's of course, it's a collective effort. It's like the Pleiadians, for example, and there's different channels, there are different teachers. People have been writing books about the Pleiadians. There's the contactees, the experiencers who work with them. There's the star seeds on the planet. But at the same time, you have to look in terms everyone has their role. Everyone has their purpose. In my case, is that when you're interacting with me, you're interacting with and half ET being is also blend with a human being together. Mm-hmm. So it really has a complete different impact. We have a different, how we profoundly impact people. Some people will be really greatly offended because we have this natural ability to bring out the toxin out of the soul to help really release what has been stored within you. So you can really open that up, clear, resolve, and reach the higher potential that we see you as. So the level of implication is not the same. So I am in contact with very, very few so far. I know that will probably change in my next level of what's coming through. But for right now, I have encountered, a few here and there, Arcturian star seeds. Those are more like the contactees. Those are working through them as guides, as teachers, because they have different purpose to accomplish.
How do
But
you?
in the way,
I just interrupted you, Vivian. Hopefully the negative orbs don't come in. But it's this. Do you subconsciously vet those that you come in contact with? Are you looking for keywords, things that you don't share, where you go, okay, all right, yes, you are making contact? Do you do that consciously or subconsciously?
great question. I will consciously, in all of the above, recognize when someone is a genuine Arcturian star seeds, a variation of some level of hybrids that will carry there's a bigger presence, there's a spark, there's something in them that I will recognize right away. And I can also make the difference with those who are in connection to the Arcturians and working with them, where you can feel that it has a different feeling. It has a different vibrational feel around it. I can tell right away.
Now,
I can tell.
I have I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, Jimmy, you may not be aware, but there's things going on with you. And I have always said, and I mean this too, no, there's not, right? There's not. I'm just me. And I would tell you, right? Or maybe I would be aware of it. But I've always been in denial of that. When somebody says that to me and I don't feel it, right? Do I just ignore and not pursue, just stay with what I believe? And I'm saying this for the audience too as well, that goes through this same thing.
Well, it's really up to you. Well, here's the thing. You can consciously say, no, I'm just me. But at the same time, there's a bigger part of you that imply that being you, maybe also opening the doors that, yes, I have an unconscious connection to the Syrian. Or yes, I recognize that there's something about me. But for you, you bring that label as it's just me. So what does it mean to be just me? So we can decode that. We can go deeper into that. So you have the choice to accept on a conscious level the information or the transmission you're receiving at the same level. It speaks to you. It speaks to your soul. It speaks to your inner being. It speaks to you at a DNA level. And that other form of language and understanding is to acknowledge and recognize. So we always says, okay, your seed has been planted. And in time, that seed will germinate and come to the surface to come to full circle with your conscious part of you.
And why do I choose? I think my reasons for choosing are the immature human construct, in that I don't have enough time, I'm too busy, this is going to take up a big chunk of my life, I'm procrastinating with other aspects of my life. You know what I mean? This immature way of looking at it. But it's also maybe a defense mechanism kicking in too as well.
Both, actually. We see it's a level of distractions.
Sure.
And those distractions is something you've been taught at a young age. Hey, if I feel like something is becoming a bit bigger than me, I'm going to create a distraction. And that these distractions, or those mental distractions, become somehow protective mechanism, archetypal pattern that you are built up into the persona. This is what it's called. We look at you like, oh, this is the Halloween costume that you're wearing. This is
a representative. Persona. Yes, it's a persona. It's a mask. I'm wearing a mask. Absolutely. Yeah. And then now I wanted to talk about Seth and maybe even a little bit about Bashar too as well. But what do you say to those in our community that's, you know what, man, 5D better happen this year. Right? I've been investing my life into this, and it seems to be constantly pushed off. I need this world to go to 5D. How do we address that?
Yes, and I hear that a lot in private consultation because I work with people from all over the planet, okay? And as a commonality, I can feel like everybody, wherever you are, whether you identify yourself as regular human being, and I put that in quotation marks, okay? Whether you identify yourself as a starseed, hybrid, or a variation of hybrids, a channel, a teachers, a spiritual, or someone who's just step onto your spiritual journey. Mm-hmm. There's a huge commonality that unites everyone right now. There's this energy where we're ready. We feel like we're holding our breath. We can feel in our being there's something more coming. Like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? We're ready. And we can feel that. And I hear that a lot, whether you're from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Germany, England, we can hear that. So dimensional state is not something that we're going to go, oh, here we are. We're changing gear and we're already in 5-dimensional reality. It's already happening now. Now, I know that there's a lot of things convincing you otherwise.
Well, there's a lot that would disagree with that, right? Where they would say, no, we are not already here. I don't want to hear that. I need something more convincing. I need to see the light switch, go from off to on.
The light switch needs to come within you first.
Right.
Because changing dimension is only a state of vibration. So think of it as, I always use this analogy. When you drive a car, okay, that's very 3D. We can all picture that. When you drive a car on a highway and you start to speed up, if you roll your window and you start slow and you put your hand out of the window, the velocity of the wind will reflect in a certain way. As you start to accelerate your vehicle and you gain momentum and speed and you can feel like you're moving, the velocity of the wind against your hands increase and change the dynamic, the way you interact with it. So I use a physical example when your senses are engaged to illustrate that the switch that we're all waiting for, the switch on and off, it has to start within you first. And if you look at the commonality, the base, the framework of all the messages that we are receiving through different channels from the enlightened, spiritually advanced intergalactic group, they all talk about your empowerment. Every human being on this planet, turn on your inner switch. How do I do that? Is I choose to do so. Leave the persona aside and start to really do the research if you want. Spend all this energy outward, bring it back in. And I ask your higher self, on this day, I am ready to understand who I am more. And you will see the switch has to come from inside. So let's put aside the excuse, oh, I'm lazy, it's too much work. I was not brought up in that directive. Or, well, what can I do? I feel like I'm one person against an entire institution or government or narratives. Is that one person, you have the power to uplift thousands around you just by saying, I today choose to turn the switch of my light on. It is done because you said so. Really, literally. And so from there, assistance, guidance is provided. We walk in this all together. There's no isolations, even though if you live on an island or you feel like we're, all this going on around the world, stay home, social distancing, it's a big masquerade. It's just an illusion. It's an impression to create a false aspect of disconnect. It's not. Now, let's turn the switch on.
That's great. It's profound. But how do we get that message to the 2 billion people on this planet that don't have a connection to communication, that are living in poverty, that are, digging through the garbage every day for food. And we want to talk to them about turning on the light switch in the Arcturian High Council. They don't know what we're talking about. They don't have, you know what I mean? And what do we do about them? How do we get this to all 7.5 billion people on the planet?
It's not about what we're going to do about a portion of the population based on the location, state, way of living. It's about recognizing them, you, us as a community, recognize everyone, hold everyone in their highest light. When I see you, and when I think and when I connect to the planet, to the grids, to all the countries, all the places, regardless of wealth, poverty, status, career, how much money you make, what you believe in, is when we connect to the planet and every sentient life form evolving, including the animal kingdoms, by the way. Animals are with us. When we feel the life, we hold everyone in the highest light. Remember the truth about them. Remember they are empowered being. Remember that there are divine conscious being. And so they can create and have awakening, breakthrough, something creating. How many times do we do, when we do groups, we always include everything, the entire earth, all billions of souls, regardless. When we bring that and we do the decree of light and protocol of light, what we do is that we empower an entire planet, an entire civilizations, regardless of the conditions from a human perspective, is hold them. When you go to the grocery store, or you're driving, it's very 3D. It's part of your mundane. It's part of the human experience, right? You go to the grocery store. One of my favorite things to do, that's why I love to go to the grocery store, is every time I step foot in the store, I know consciously that I'm there to change the paradigm of everyone I come in contact with. I send constantly light. There you go.
Yes, I do the same thing. I'm thinking that, and back to the animals. I'm going to say something a little strange. I'm sitting. I just came back from a conference, right? And I'm there for 5 days. And yesterday, over the 3 days, but I got to meet this 1-year-old Australian shepherd, right? Amazing. Anyway, so I'm checking out this dog for 3 days, and yesterday I'm sitting there, I'm talking with him, but I'm watching this shepherd run around and connect with people, and I said to myself, Vivian, on all that I love, I said to myself, the smartest being at this conference is that dog, right? I'm watching this dog, the eyes lit up, watching everybody interacting, running around, doing its thing, the most intelligent, sentient being. It was just incredible. And I thought to myself, that dog's got it all figured out, right? Nobody here does. That dog has got it figured out. And it's incredible. And we don't pay enough attention to not only the animals, but everything else that is around us. There's action going on. Look into their eyes, right? There's an intelligence there. And I came away from the conference. It was great meeting people and making friends and my old friends and all of this. It was that Australian shepherd that I connected with. There, I said it. I put it out there.
Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. That's what you do at that point, is you recognize the intelligence of that being just in the form of a dog. And after time, when we look at other form of life evolving around us, especially with animals, the presence, what they come to do, what they come to anchor, there are great teachers. They're so intelligent, and always says, don't be fooled by their forms. Don't be fooled because they're four-legged, or they meow, or they bark, or they have other, and we put labels on it. But, don't be fooled by their physical forms, because the intelligence, the presence, the energy behind that form, it's just phenomenal. And that dog that you talked about, I could visualize the dog in my vision, in my third eye. I felt its consciousness. And what I felt from that dog is that dog is not bound by morality.
That's my point. That's exactly my point. That dog was not involved with any of our BS. That dog was in the moment. Right. That dog was in the moment. And yes, not bound by any of that. We need to unbind ourselves with these things and these processes. I'm not perfect, but I'm aware, and I try to institute these changes a little bit every single day. I go back to my old crutches. I do. I'm human, like everybody else. But if we just recognize that, and look at the innocence of a dog that honestly has got it all figured out. They're not bound by all of this soap opera drama that we find ourselves in today. And we need to learn from that. I'm telling you, I had a moment of peace and bliss looking at this dog. Just go, that dog is happy. Dog's got it all figured out. That dog's not worried about anything. Dog is just making friends and hanging out. It was incredible, Vivian. Incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah, let's. We're going to take a break in just a second. I brought up Seth earlier, and Jane Roberts and Seth. I went through. I read all of the material. A lot of people say that they've read it, and no, I did, and I always felt that the message and the communication that was going on was virtually timeless. It could apply to 200 years ago. It can apply 200 years in the future. It certainly is relevant today. And then there is, Bashar and Daralenka. Again, I get the same kind of vibe there. Is this part of the Arcturian realm, or is this message coming from a specific race of beings independent of the Arcturians?
There are different messages coming from different civilization. Bashar with the Ssani will bring their message. And if you look at, Daralenka being the vessel, the conduit for the Ssani, for Bashar to come through, it's complementary. It's like another form of support, teachings, inspiration, inspiring people from all over the world, uplifting, connecting the star seed, giving a voice for those who have been, in the closet, afraid of persecution, afraid of being, labeled and pushed aside. So, whether it's the Ssani to Bashar, the Arcturians, through us and others, the Pleiadians, the Syrians, we have Lions. You can look also even Orions, which you'll talk about tomorrow with Krista. But the Orions, I've come across a lot of starseed that come from Orion. They come here with, after time, a desire to heal at the soul level. I have encountered many of them who have come through the destruction of a planet, understanding conflict, understanding polarization, negativity, disconnect from source. Ultimately, there's a disconnect somewhere, whether it's a renegade group that came here on this earth to take over the planet, to be self-serving to themselves. If you decode and you look, there's a disconnect. So there's different groups, Jimmy, different groups have come to the earth, have interacting with the earth. The Andromedan, we absolutely adore the Andromedan. I know personally Andromedan starseeds. They connect to their group, they talk to their collective. We call them collective. Again, it's just a semantics.
Mm-hmm.
The commonality, if you listen to all of these groups, these intergalactic group, interstellar groups, this different level of intelligence that have evolved beyond your earth plane, beyond this matrix reality. They come from different dimensionality. You can see that you can trace a really, really common bottom line is that we've come to assist, we come to remind you, we come to simply say, hey, remember that either when you came back to the planet, even the first stage of Atlantis, you were living in a complete divine design of who you are, having telepathic communications, healing yourself, healing abilities, living in communion with all the cosmic laws, with one another, being able to teleport yourself, to have a meeting with an intergalactic groups of councils or part of your living day. And then there's other things that happen, and that descending in consciousness started to create a bit melting pot, that conflict. But they are many groups. We are in this together. And of course, the human civilization have to rise. They need to rise to the occasion. The switch is as easy as I make conscious choice. What are you contributing the most every day? Are you contributing to the narrative of fear, thinking that you are getting away from it? Or are you contributing to your light, who says every day I'm inspiring others to my action, my words? It can be just at work, the co-worker. Those around you are fearful. They doubt about themselves. They're worries.
Yeah, we just blew past a commercial break. I've got to get that in, but it's just about being positive. I was on the elevator this weekend, and nobody to do with the conference. It was somebody else that was there, and this lady behind me, she's pretty angry, and she says to this other guy, she goes, "I'm toxic. That's just who I am." And I turned around and I smiled at her. I just smiled. That's all I did. But that is what she is projecting, right? And that goes out to her friends, and it continues that way, right? Let's take our break. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Stay with us.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Why is it we're not very good with our health regimen until it's too late? We don't put oil in the car until the engine blows up. When the body's out of balance, your health is not so good. Give your body some love. Log on to wtih.com. That's wtih.com. Try our Life Change Tea, which cleanses you from harmful intruders. A clean colon is one of the ways to bring the body in balance. We also carry organic supplements to help you get where you need to go. So do your body a favor. Log on to wtih.com. That's wtih.com. You can even visit our sales page to save some dough. Does anybody call money dough anymore? Anyway, if you're looking for short, helpful health tips, go to YouTube and punch in Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now. So, log on to wtih.com, shop, get balanced, then learn some cool tips at Health Matters Now. You'll be glad you did. That's wtih.com.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact. KGRARadio.com.
When you're in the house for longer periods of time, you can see them flying or running across the floor. Ooh, yuck. They're unhealthy, gross, and disgusting. Bugs. I loathe bugs. We keep a clean home, but occasionally bugs show up. Well, I found something that is tougher than bugs. Orange Guard. On contact, it kills hidden bugs, including ants, roaches, and fleas. Plus, Orange Guard is a residual repellent. All of the ingredients of Orange Guard are on the FDA generally recognized as safe list. Orange Guard may be used around food, humans, and pets. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Orange Guard, available at orangeguard.com, Whole Foods, and Ace Hardware.
Gold loves chaos, uncertainty, and disarray. History shows us what gold does when people aren't sure about the government, the stock market, their jobs, or their retirement savings. Our national debt is skyrocketing. Gold and other precious metals are a defense measure against inflation and a stock market that might take years to recover. So what can you do right now to protect yourself? Call United Gold Group. We offer gold and other precious metals delivered securely within 72 hours. Are you worried about the stock market? We can also help you set up a real gold or silver IRA or a 401k. Safe and secure. United Gold Group makes gold ownership affordable. Call now and get up to $2,500 in free gold or silver with a qualified IRA. Call 800-753-8534. That's 800-753-8534 or visit unitedgoldgroup.com.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Viviane Chauvet. Incredible conversation tonight. And Vivian, I almost want to go back and do a recap, but I just saw this chat in one of the rooms, and somebody said something that has to be, well, it's amazing and it's profound, but it has to be true. We're all hybrids. Right? And I've often thought that the interaction that has been going on this planet far before our memory, right? Before the last 100 years, before our amnesia set in, that there has to have been interaction going on. And if I just go with the hard sciences and the reality of things, Homo sapiens sapien, we just appeared here 200,000 years ago. That's a fact. We just appeared. And how that happened, I don't know. But we did just appear. And it would say to me, and if we go back to the Sumerian tablets and Gilgamesh and everything that went on before, it seems that that's exactly what the mythology, the folklore, the history has been presented to us, is that, yeah, there was others before us and maybe we were just created. With that knowledge of the past and where we are today, we have the Tic Tac video, right? We have this conversation going on with the DOD, pilot testimony, the UAP task force report. Are these examples that are happening right now in the media, is this ET? What do the Arcturians say about this and this state of disclosure that we are in? Are these pilots seeing ET? Are these extraterrestrial craft, probes, whatever they may be, visiting this planet?
They have been visiting for thousands of years. Nothing new. You know, when this person in the chat room says we're all hybrids, it needs to be understanding what is that they're talking about. What does it mean to be a hybrid to begin with? It's a difference to recognize an entire civilizations who are designed to evolve within a certain planetary energy and having seeding, having their material genetic been changed, accelerated, whether it's additional DNA strand by the Pleiadian, for example, or having other material added to accelerate the evolutionary stage. This is a different ball game. When I say that I'm an advanced Arcturian hybrid, is that I didn't need to be on this planet. In fact, I had very little lifetime on this planet. I came here already in an ascended form, agreed to take on a physical form that would have been portion of a human spark energy, so I can relate, function, and be here in a descended form, a physical body, blending with a very advanced being that comes from another dimension, come from a completely different plane of reality, and combine together and imagine the level of challenge to embody that vessel and walk here as a so-called normal human, to go through the process, to go through the challenge, to go through the emotions, to go through the timeline changes and all of it, understanding who I am. So there's different level here of implications that versus the entire human race. From that perspective, yes. But there's 100 level of separation and degrees of variation when we use the word hybrids. Pilots, Air Force, whistleblowers, people from the government, institution, people from day-to-day life who have had extraordinary experiences with other civilizations. Whether they're from that civilizations, whether they have an agreement of experiencing, remembering that they are part of the human race, is part of an infinite matrix of life, that it's time for human being to rise and reclaim your true potential. And that means cleansing your mind, cleansing your heart, letting go of the lies, letting go of the deception. How do I know what is real and what is fabricated? This is exactly why you need to be clear within yourself. Because when you make a statement, ask yourself, what aspect of self am I speaking from? Meaning, is it part of a projected fear? Mm-hmm. Is it part of the lower mind? Like the lower mind that comes with the body, that survival GPS system of the lower mind? Or is it an aspect of me that is evolving in consciousness that says, I'm asking different questions because I'm ready to get different answers. And those answers will trigger awakening, will trigger other aspects, will invite you to live in a different consciousness. So this is why that it's very important to reset a few things. Do the pilots or the militaries and other people see so-called extraterrestrial? Many of them they do. Many of them, they will see light beings, transdimensional beings and light craft in the form of orbs. Maybe you get the presence of an intelligence, a being that is formless and can appear almost like in an angelic form, or just pure energy, or just dressed in white, or have a glow about them. They are different level of interactions. Those are also the intraterrestrial that comes from the earth. And you see those craft. I've seen personally craft coming out of a river, coming out of a lake, close a mountain, coming out of the lake, overing to the lake, and when the craft or that consciousness realized I was able to see them, they just disappeared. They didn't disappear. They changed vibrational. They changed dimensional reality, that it was no longer in sync with my physical sight.
Right.
That makes sense.
And many, well, I've seen the same things, and the way that I resolve to keep myself from going bleeping crazy, right? Okay. and I'm being very straight, is that I have to resolve this because it doesn't fit what I am supposed to know. It doesn't fit this reality. But when I make these very definitive comments, when I say things like, the Tic Tac video doesn't matter to me. What other things people have seen, it's great, but it doesn't matter to me. I've seen things that I can't explain. I'm basing my inquisitiveness, my journey trying to figure this out because of my own reality and things that I've seen. Not to say I'm not discounting other people's experiences. I'm not doing that at all. They're the same as mine. But that doesn't define who I am and why I am, pissed off and why I want to try to figure out what is going on. And I think that is what's most important to me, just like what you just said there. A pilot may see something and it's in their reality for that moment and then it is gone, but it is just as physical to them as anything else that they can look at. Like you seeing something come out of the water and then, right, as you say, pew, right, disappear. That is a moment, that is something revealing itself to you to show you that things aren't what they seem, right? That there is something else going on. And it can't be any more clear than that, can it?
It really cannot. At this point of time, this is something that I remember. If I bring myself back in time, this initial interview we gave for J3 Films at the time for the second documentary, and now brought into the third documentary. One thing that my team now allow me to remember is something we say is that there's no more time for you to doubt the perhaps, maybe. Is you're in the water with us. You are in this with all of us, okay? This is a time for you to reclaim your sovereignty. Look at your true Earth history, not the one from, videos or books or shelves. It's the true history that the Earth is covered with. How come, even in ancient civilizations, there are countless traces of beings who've come? Your pyramid, the hieroglyph, caves, symbols, the crop circles. And then why is there so much energy put to bring disinformation or contradiction that somebody came with their tools, they create a crop circle and they want to film the whole thing? Why pulling so much energy to prove the contrary? That's because, yes, they are a faction on this earth, has been here for a long time, that wants to convince you that you're little, that the lies are the truth, you have no power. And then there are those who will be unconsciously influenced to transmit that agenda. Why transmitting fear at this point? It makes no sense. Why transmitting that anymore? This distorted harmonic energy of fear. If the message that you receive is nothing out of to empower you, to encourage you to rise up, to claim your full potential, to help you cleanse your mind, to help you live healthier, more balanced life that contribute and much more, then I would say disregard. Because what's the point? To feed your lower mind with more doubt and fear? What is the point at this? There's no more time. We're in this together.
Now, what if the opposite happens, Vivian? I'm talking about the opposite, where we have a head of state, an elected official. I mean, what if Putin, what if, some head of state says, last night a being of light came to me and spoke to me, right? It says, the Arcturian High Council came and spoke to me and said, are we ready for that kind of moment? I mean, what if the exact opposite happened, where, the head of the United Nations is speaking? Could the planet handle that? I could. Well, it might be a little nutty. I don't know. Could you handle that? Is the planet ready for something? We're asking for it, but what if it actually happened?
Well, if it happens, what else? What else does this planet, this world, this life has in store for you? What else there is beyond what you already have known? Paradigm of slavery, being stuck in institution, of earning money to eat, to shelter your family, to spend all of your energy, burn out your nervous system and your adrenals on profiting a company. What is the extraction behind all of this? So we say, yes, you are ready. You have been ready. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on the planet right here, right now, in physical incarnation. You are more ready than you realize. And we will continue to broadcast these messages to empower you because we know you are. And I know that right now there's a lot to go through. So honor your space. Honor your emotions.
The money system, the capitalistic way of life, I feel strange about it, but it also enables me to have these really cool guitars, right? that happen to make 3D. Me, you know what I mean? It's so 3D, man. That's even 2D, but it makes me happy. It makes me happy. And the world put so much on disclosure over the last 3 years, and certainly over the last 3 months, going back to June 25th, pushing for this, and the United States government is about to disclose the reality of ET. It seemed like there are a lot of people out there expecting it and wanting it, including myself. But I'm not so sure if the Department of Defense or the White House crossed that line. I'm not sure what the reaction would be. There's a part of me, Vivian, that says most would say, of course we're not alone. It's not that big of a deal. But then there's another part of me that kind of paradigm shift may be too much. Maybe we should go back to the baby steps. Which way should we go?
The good news is that you've already gone through the baby steps. You're way far beyond that.
We certainly are.
What is disclosure?
Right.
Right?
Yes.
What is disclosure really? It's what we hear, it's many voices. It's an entire population demanding to have the release of the truth of who they are. They are demanding to understand and reclaim their place among the stars, among others. Disclosure has been happening in your history for eons. You are the disclosure. If you understand and accept that the human race has been seeded by different civilizations, whether it's to accelerate the process, maybe it's to install additional DNA strands that will later on catalyze positive changes, transformation. You are the disclosure. Disclosure is within you. The disclosure is to accept that beyond humanity, beyond what my lower mind has led me to believe, beyond all of these subconscious program, paradigm, there's a universe, a matrix of life unfolding around me. That is disclosure. The disclosure that we talked about, hybrid, star children, indigo children, star seed, that is disclosure. We are part of the disclosure, not the government, not what the archives of the White House will disclose. Congratulations, we said publicly that the Roswell crash was real. We all know that. We know that by then it's 50 years ago, 60 years ago. So it's no longer about looking at all archives or counting rocks on Mars or finding a structure. It's understanding that you are the disclosure. So turning that switch on within you and says, you know what, I'm part of this. I contribute. I recognize there's something fundamentally different about me. And I embrace being that. I no longer have fear about to be who I am. How many times do I hear that in session when I work with clients? Mm-hmm. Oh, I always know that. I've always been awake and I've been on my path for a long time. I have this gift, these abilities, but I always want to fit in. So that fit in is part of disclosure, is disclose who you are. Allow those gifts, love the world. The same thing when in 2013, when I gave this so-called first interview and I disclosed to the world, guess what? I'm an engineered being called an Arcturian hybrid. I came out of the hybrid closet, so to speak.
Right.
But, in 2013, I was in a different state. In the conversation I had, just like the disclosure you gave me at the beginning of the show, hey, this is just a conversation between friends on a couch. That's exactly what I had. Next thing I know, it was on a radio show, posted online, and we had 20,000 views in a matter of, hours. And we go like, whoa, there's something about you, Vivian, that inspired me. And from there, we started another level of awakening and consciousness and acceleration in consciousness. Just by the fact that I declare publicly, I am a biological advanced prototype Arcturian hybrid. People went like, okay, now I can speak. Now I can come forward with who I am, what I've been experiencing, what's part of my family lineage, and
now,
so forth.
Thank you for the conversation tonight, and I look forward to our next one. And I'm so excited for this film and its release, so everybody can, see your face, see your smile, and hear your communication. But this is a question for me. In the background, you have some writing. Yes. Can you tell me what's going on with that and what is it?
Yes. So if you go to my website, everybody, you will see that on my website, you will see the same logo that Jimmy's picking up right now. This is my business logo. This is Arcturian language, and you only see a portion of it. The logo is much more complex than that. The logo contains blueprint of Arcturian ship, at the same time emanation of the blue planet within the Arcturus realm. This depicts an entire storyline. These symbols are activations. They're activators. They will speak to everyone according to where you are right now. So we keep those light language, the symbols behind me with everything that we do to inspire, to activate people, to already transmit frequency that speak to you at a deeper level so you can already start to create.
It's been speaking to me all night. Right? I had to bring it up. It's absolutely incredible. So if you go to infinitehealingfromthestars.com, that will be there for everybody to see.
Yes, it's right on the homepage. It's right on the homepage. The logo is there along with everything that we do, bio, and also every month we do very powerful Arcturian holographic group healing. We just did one on Saturday. The next one is on Saturday, October 9. The details is on the event calendar with the link to register. I'm getting so many messages from people from everywhere how much these groups, healing groups, are really powerful. You work firsthand with my collective. It's done remotely online. Where we create, with the light language, we create a powerful holographic dome of light, and we work with people. So that will be right there.
Thank you so much, Vivian. What a great conversation tonight. You are so amazing. I've been texting Vivian. You've been watching me, maybe everybody else, with about 3 or 4 people throughout the show tonight. And everybody just telling me how amazing you are. What a great conversation. Thank you so much. The film is amazing. It will release on November 30th. I will let everybody know. You're gonna hear about it constantly. But check out Vivian's part in this film. It's just amazing. Vivian, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll circle back and do this again very soon. Thank you.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Viviane Chauvet. Again, her website, the links, everything is over at jimmychurchradio.com, infinitehealingfromthestars.com. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'm going to take a quick break, swing back, and open up the phone lines. Vivian, thank you so much. Have a great night. Keep doing what you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll be right back. Stay with us.
Elder Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at jimmychurchradio.com. This is Jimmy Church, and I invite you to attend the 20th Annual Los Angeles Conscious Life Expo live and in person this September 17th, 18th, and 19th at the LAX Airport Hilton. Connect with exhibitors, community, thought leaders, and friends as we begin to recreate the world. You can also watch the expo from the comfort of your own home. Live stream from the main stage in Los Angeles and from the main stage in London. Truly a global simulcast event broadcast around the world. Live stream and in-person expo tickets are available now. I'll be your host all weekend long from Los Angeles. And on Friday, it's my Ancient Secrets and Earth Mysteries themed segment with James Keenan, Caroline Corey, and William Henry. And on Saturday, Daniel Sheen and I sit down for a one-on-one interview live. We have an amazing lineup of 25 speakers, including Bashar, Gail Thackeray, Kimberly Meredith, Whitley Strieber, Stephen Bassett, Daniel Brinkley, and Lisa Garr. Please visit ConsciousLifeExpo.com for tickets and info. That's ConsciousLifeExpo.com, and use that promo code Jimmy for a special discount. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B blend for 15% off of your order today.
This is Billy Carson with ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Forbidden Knowledge TV has just reached its 1-year anniversary. That's right, 1 year. And as a show of appreciation, we are giving all new subscribers a free 30-day trial of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's 30 days to binge watch thousands of movies, documentaries, conferences, workshops, lectures, yoga classes, meditation courses, and so much more. So log on to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv from your computer or mobile device, or get the Forbidden Knowledge TV app on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon, iTunes, or Google Play today, and use coupon code 30daysfree. That's coupon code 30daysfree on ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. I want to thank Viviane Chauvet for coming in tonight. First time guest, amazing conversation. Just amazing. Amazing, top to bottom. I've opened up the phone lines, 747-228-2051, 747-228-2051. And what a great smile. And watching that smile as we signed off was just great. 747-228-2051. And and just going back as I'm waiting, we've got a delay that's going on and waiting for the phone calls to come in. There was one thing that I want to go back. Well, there was many. When she spoke about seeing a craft, come out of the water and show itself, and then gone and phase out. And now, although that sounds incredible on the surface, and we keep going back to this 3D, 2D scrolling reality. For most out there, hearing something like that sounds fantastical. It sounds unbelievable. It's not part of our world or the dogma that we are taught and shown every single day. And I totally get that. I understand that. I'm part of it. We're all part of it. But when she says that, and I come back with something dramatic that I've said many times, look, I get it. I get the videos. I get the testimony. I get the photographs. I get the contact. I understand what people have seen. I get all of that. And it's great. And I want to collect all of that information. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear about your experiences. I want to hear about what you've seen and the contact that you've made. I love talking about it. Somebody, I think it was Carrie, the other night, we were sitting and talking late into the night, and somebody asked me, do you ever get tired about talking about UFOs? And I said, no, I don't. I really don't. I love hearing from other people. My own experiences, and people want my thoughts and things on it. I do not get tired of it. I do not. And I keep going back to these strange things that I've seen. And when I go to, and I hear Vivian talk about, this sighting that she had, and it came out and phased out. When I have seen the exact same thing, that singular sighting, all of them collectively, certainly, but that beer can, and I keep going back to this, I keep driving this home with everybody, that was in the middle of the day, in the clear blue sky, in front of all of us. Absolutely unexplainable reality. It happened, and it phased out. This thing disappeared. Planes just don't disappear. Things just don't disappear. Helicopters just don't disappear. Physical things. Cars just don't disappear, right? This studio just doesn't disappear. That thing disappeared in the middle of the sky. I keep driving this home. It was 14 miles away, and we could see it. It was huge. It didn't have wings. It didn't have that. No, it was a frigging beer can. 300, 400, 500 feet tall, spinning in the sky like this and going, what stop with that? Right there. That's my reality. I saw that. That's why I'm here. Somebody explain that to me. And it goes right back to what Vivian said tonight. The military pilots, this, that's all great. But there's everybody else. There's everybody else. What we have seen and what we've been exposed to. Are those the baby steps that we're talking about? Is that my baby step? Somebody said, I've been told this many times, but the first time that I heard it, it stuck with me. And that was, Jimmy, maybe that beer can was for you. You know, for everybody else that was there. But maybe just that moment, maybe that was just for you. Now think about that for a second. There is a lot to be said about that. This beer can, and I don't have another way to explain it, and everybody has heard this story so many times, you know, over the years. So let's just stay with beer can for now. I don't have another way to explain it. It had a silver top. It had a silver bottom. It was black in the middle. It was a cylinder. It was in this direction, and there was something silver that was round in the middle, and you could see it spinning around. So you know what? It looked like a beer can. So let's just stay with that. This beer can was not seen on the news. There should have been, and this was the one thing that popped in my. This is being seen by everybody, right? There's a town here. There are other towns. There are houses. There are homes. There are people on this mountain. There are forest rangers. There are. This is an Indian reservation. There are people. There are cars. There are. It should have been seen and reported. It should have been out there. And I thought to myself, especially when it phased out, well, it's not that big of a deal. This is going to be in the news tomorrow. Everybody saw this. And that didn't happen. It doesn't make any sense. Now, was it singularly for us, for all of us to see at the same time, and nobody else was phasing in? Was that frequency off from other directions? Was it only meant to? I don't know, but it doesn't change what I saw. It just doesn't do it. It actually happened. 15 seconds of this thing up in the sky, and it disappeared. It disappeared. How does that happen? It doesn't make any sense, you know? And we keep going back to, physics and the science of this and trying to answer these questions in our own mind, not only with this, but every time that this happens to everybody else, like it happened to Vivian. We hear about this report happening over and over again. It wasn't there, then it was there, and then it was gone. It was cloaking. It was hiding in the clouds. It was technology. It was, it was phasing in and out. It was in a certain frequency. It was in another dimension because we simply don't understand. And we're trying to answer these questions with the knowledge that we currently have today. And for me to literally go from seeing this in binoculars, clear, crisp, real, physical thing in the sky. It was real. To go from that, come out here, look at it with my naked eye, little tiny dot, and I can see it spinning, and it's black, and then I come back into the binoculars, and it's gone, and I'm trying to find it, and I hear everybody else around me saying, it phased out. It disappeared. And I came back and looked, and it's gone. When I had the clear blue sky, we all did, in front of us, and this thing should have been up there forever and just floated across, and it was gone. That really happened. The other part about this, and I'm so glad that Steve Murillo and others, got to see it phase out. I didn't see it. That might have been, for me, the most important part about this entire sighting. As Vivian describes hers, she saw it disappear. I didn't see it. I didn't see it disappear. I didn't see it phase out. I didn't get to enjoy that moment or try to figure out actually what happened. Did it fly away at a rapid speed or did it just disappear in the middle? I didn't get to see any of that. What I do know is in that split second of me looking in the binoculars and understand what I am saying here. Looking at it in the binoculars, coming out, seeing it with my naked eye. All of this is happening very quickly. I see it. I come back and I want to enjoy the moment, and it's gone. That's how quickly it disappeared. And I keep repeating this over and over again. I want people to understand exactly what I'm talking about. And that's my reality. So when I'm pushing this issue and I'm bringing on a guest like Vivian or other guests to talk about this over and over again, you need to understand why I am here. It's an experience like that I cannot explain. And I don't care if I sound crazy. I say this over and over again. I don't care. I'm so happy that this wasn't an experience that I saw by myself, where that I am able to come on the air to this big, wonderful audience and talk about an experience that everybody else had at that moment. They shared it too. Those on my left and those on my right. We all shared this together. And I am able to fall back on them going, yeah, you know what? No, it really happened. Jimmy's not crazy. I'm not crazy. We all saw this together. The video that was shot, and I wanted to, I thought about this during the break. I'm going to pull this up real quick. The video that was shot, which doesn't capture the object itself. And when I stood up and yelled for everyone, when I stood up and yelled at everybody to, you know what? Did Vivian listen to the show all night in her ear? Maybe she did. She didn't act like it. Okay, that's good. When I talk about this, and I stood up and yelled for everybody to shoot video, and I didn't shoot video myself. That's my fault. But Lucinda is shooting. She doesn't capture the video or doesn't capture the object, but she captured the reaction from everybody. And this is real. So this is the moment that this happened. Oops, I thought I just pulled up the video. I didn't pull up the video. I pulled up a screenshot. No, a JPEG that she shot. Just hang on. Let me pull this up. Man, it was just right in front of me. And now I reach for it, and it's not in front of me. Oh, here it is, right here. Okay. Just listen to everybody's reactions, including my own.
Oh, tell me somebody took a picture. I swear to God, I will shoot everybody here.
It's disappeared now.
Oh, no, there it is. There it is. I got it. I got it.
Give us a position, man.
No, that's a bird. No, the UFO wasn't a bird.
No, that was shimmering. That was glinting.
It was a ball. It was huge. Okay, who shot it?
Now, and you heard Steve Murillo say right there, it was shimmering. You know, it was spinning, and you could see that silver dot, and it was reflecting the sunlight. I'm looking at the video here. There is not a single wisp of a cloud. This is nothing but a clear blue sky. That's it. That's it. What do we do with that? It's the exact experience that Vivian had and others have had, where something shows up and just disappears. How does it phase out? You know, is it something that, and the other part to this is that the mountain peak is here and it only showed up here. I was looking at the mountain peak for 15 minutes. It didn't come in from the other side and pass behind the mountain and then show up on the other side. It didn't do that. It just showed up from here and came out. So I don't know what was going on the other side of the mountain. I don't know. That part I don't know. But it just unexpected and just pops up and is spinning and is going in this direction? Did it just phase in? Did it fly up from behind the mountain and then take a turn? Yeah, that's possible. I don't know. Did it phase in and just appear and then just phase out? I don't know. Did it just appear from, seriously, a parallel world, another dimension, and just for that instant it was here and went back to where it came from? It had nothing to do with cloaking, and it was physical. I don't know, but a time portal, and it just I don't know any of these things. All I know is that it appeared and came out and then was gone. And I'm looking at it here, and it's so funny because in Lucinda's video, she's and I'm yelling at everybody, tell me somebody shot a video of this thing. Tell me. So listen to this again.
Tell me somebody took a picture. I swear to God, I will shoot everybody here.
It disappeared now.
Oh, no, there it is. I got it.
Okay.
Give us a position, man.
No, that's a bird.
I'm back on
No, the UFO wasn't a bird.
No, that was
It's gone. I'm looking at the mountain here.
It was a ball. It was huge. Okay, who shot it?
Okay, and so as I'm saying this, I am back. Remember, that's the moment where I was sitting looking through my binoculars and then came out, saw it, and came back, and that's when everybody said it disappeared. And that's when she started the video, and I'm still looking, hoping I'm going to see something through the binoculars and that it's going to reappear or whatever. But that's when I said, just tell me somebody shot that, because it was only 15 seconds long. And then it just disappeared. At that moment, when I came back and was looking, that's when she shot the video. And that's what you're hearing. And to hear Steve Murillo say the one thing that he, the most honest thing, it was there. It disappeared. It was there. It was shimmering. It was there. It's gone. This is what everybody saw. And this goes right back to not only what Vivian was talking about, but so many others. And that's why I am here. This is exactly why. It's not I'm chasing this down because of what others have seen and what the evidence is there. And that, no, this is all based on my own experience. Now, I wanted to go back to, that was with 20 or 30 people. That was with me that night. And then we go back to what most experiences are, which are experiences that happen quickly. You're by yourself. You see it. You come home. You tell your friends. My friend Bruce Pfeiffer, who had his sighting, he's 8 years old, and he's looking out the window and he sees this, this flying saucer come down over the tennis courts outside of his apartment. He sees it. He sees it fly away. But that's him by himself. And I would say that is the vast majority of what is going on out there. That's it. You don't have a picture. You don't have a video. All you have is this sighting and this experience that happened when you're alone. And when I try to go back and share a sighting, the thing that happened over Edwards, and it hasn't happened again, by the way, and I've been looking over Edwards. I was reticent. I was hesitant to share that. I almost didn't talk about that on the air. Now I've repeated this story so many times. But there were so many things wrong with that. One, I was by myself. I didn't have another witness to see not only, to back up the story, but their view of it. What is it that they saw? I don't have that. I didn't shoot a video. I had my cell phone in my hand. I didn't do that. When I was ready to shoot a video, nothing else happened. That's an experience that I had by myself. And I almost didn't share that. I didn't feel the need to. I've had other sightings by myself that I've never talked about. I've had a few recently using my night vision and things. I've been seeing some strange things. If I came back every single night on the air, said I saw something again last night, and it was this. Eric coming over to the house a couple of weeks ago, we had those sightings at night. Well, those are the two of us together. We saw it. I shot video of something on my phone, and it was up there, and I really couldn't get a good cell phone capture. I've thought about sharing it. I don't know what it is. It reminded me a little bit of, again, this is a sighting that I had by myself. If you go back to the original TV show, it's called UFO, and the way that they represented these UFO, these flying saucers back then, the show was called UFO. It was this spinning silver craft, and it was just spinning, and it had these lights on it, but spinning very rapidly, and looked like, not like a flying saucer, it was more like a top hat or like a hat, and was kind of, with a thing on it, like an acorn almost, stubby acorn spinning. That's what I saw. And it was up there for quite a bit. It wasn't moving around a whole lot. And it allowed me to, because it wasn't moving, to try to shoot it on my cell phone. And I zoomed in and I captured it for a couple of minutes. I came back in the house, grabbed my night vision, went out, and it was gone. And it was staying right there. It was pretty big and pretty bright, white, and I couldn't see really what it was with my naked eye. It was bright, but when I zoomed in on it on the phone, it kind of had this acorn shape, kind of like this, kind of fat on the bottom, but it was right there. Now, I didn't come on the air and talk about this. And when I came back out and it was gone, and I was hoping I was going to shoot something in night vision and put my phone up and do all of that, the moment passed. So what do I do with that experience? I'm by myself, right? It's just another experience. And I didn't see it disappear either. I was pretty surprised because it was up there for about 2 or 3 minutes. I didn't see it appear. It might have been up there already, but it did catch my eye, and I looked up, saw it, shot this video. I'll see what I can do. This was about a week ago. I'll see what I can do about getting the video up and online, and I'll see if I can share it with everybody. It doesn't show a whole lot. And I also, this is the reason why I brought that up. I found out how difficult it is to shoot something like that is fairly stationary in the night sky on a cell phone. It was pretty tough, and trying to get it in focus, and I fought with it, and I didn't want it to disappear and go away, and I'm trying to. So I did the best that I could. I shot it at a distance without zooming in. I zoomed in. A couple of times I got it in focus. Most of the time this thing is fighting. I'm clicking on it, and it would focus. But for the couple of instances, the instance that it was there and captured, you can see what it is. But it's my alone experience. That's it. There are millions of people out there that share what I'm saying right now. It's just another thing. All right. So tomorrow night, Krista Raisa is here. And 3 nights this week of first-time guests. But all of our guests this week were in the film Extraordinary, The Revelations. It's going to be great tomorrow night, Krista Raisa. Wednesday night, right here, Timothy Alberino. Timothy starts the film. There's a reason why he just stays right with you. That's going to be an extraordinary night, too. That's on Wednesday night. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Fade to Black is produced by Hill J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Kevin. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and this broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2021 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tomorrow night, Chris Arisa is here. Until then, I want everybody to be safe. It's time to fade to black.